Right now, from KTAB News, your local election headquarters, this is Big Country Politics.
Thanks so much for being here for this very special edition of Big Country Politics. I'm Travis Ruiz, and KTAB News is your local election headquarters. Tuesday was Election Day, of course, and the biggest race at the top of your ballot, the presidential race. And you can find the very latest on the presidential election on our website, bigcountryhomepage.com. Now we want to move down the ballot. All right, here we go. Senator John Cornyn retains his seat, beating out MJ Hager. This will be Cornyn's fourth term. Congressman Jody Arrington also keeping his seat in Washington. He is the representative in the House for District 19, covering the Lubbock and Abilene area. Arrington was challenged by Democrat Abilene attorney Tom Watson. Next, taking the retiring seat of Congressman Mike Conaway for District 11, it's August Pfluger. He was challenged by Democrat John Mark Hogg. And in the Panhandle and Northern Mid-Country, Dr. Ronnie Jackson will be the replacement for the retiring Mac Thornberry. Jackson is the former White House doctor for President Trump. Back to the Mid-Country, Texas State Representative Stan Lambert holds on to his seat. He beats out Democrat Sam Hatton in this repeat election. Moving now to the Texas State Senate, Dr. Dawn Buckingham reelected to her seat over Democrat Clayton Tucker. Now to the race for mayor of the Key City, incumbent Mayor Anthony Williams easily holds on to his seat. This will be the mayor's second term. And staying in Abilene, Councilwoman Donna Albus hangs on to her hat and seat, beating out two others. This will be Albus's second term. And of course, these are not all the results. For our complete comprehensive results, go to our website, bigcountryhomepage.com. All right, here in Taylor County, the trend of mail-in voting has gone up this year because of the pandemic, which is an increase we are seeing across America and, of course, right here in the Big Country and Heartland. KTAB's Dan Booth checks in from the Taylor County Elections Office with how the local process works.
According to the Taylor County Elections Office, this year they sent out 6,390 mail-in ballots, which is a 61% increase from 2016.
In big elections such as this, we do bring in 2 or 3 part-time people to help us with nothing else with data entry.
Reagan says the early voting ballot board is made up of people recommended by both political parties, and the process they go through when sorting ballots is extremely thorough.
They're taking that carrier envelope and they're taking the application where the voter requested that ballot, and they're comparing the signature on the application to the signature on the carrier envelope itself to determine that that is the same signature.
Every state has their own election protocol. For example, the deadline for civilian mail-in ballots to be received at the elections office was November 4th at 5 p.m. But there are still some ballots that haven't come in yet from military members and people overseas.
Military and overseas voters that have requested their ballots by mail have until November 9th to return their ballots.
Once those votes come in,
ballot board will meet again on November 10th, first thing in the morning, and they will qualify and process, and we will tabulate those, and then we'll be able to have our official results completed.
To meet the demands of this election cycle, Reagan says her and her team have been working around the clock.
Since the first weekend in September, my office has worked 7 days a week. In some of those days, it's been 12, 15 hours a day. It's a huge undertaking. We love what we do. And we're committed to making sure that everything is perfect.
For BigCountryHomepage.com, I'm Dan Booth.
And Taylor County has seen a 6% increase in voter turnout from 2016, and that number could rise as more mail-in ballots are counted. And right now, we want to move to our eye on Abilene, and as we mentioned at the top, Mayor Anthony Williams holding on to his seat. KTAB's Victor Sotelo is speaking with the mayor about his vision for his second term.
All right, welcome to Big Country Politics. We are in the Soda District Courtyard with Mayor Anthony Williams. First of all, congratulations on your win.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is your second term.
Yes, a long first term, about 6 months longer than it should have been, but that's when you have COVID-19, things happen like that.
Well, that's right. And as a matter of fact, why don't we start there? Why don't we start? And I want to talk about your vision for the next 3 years, but we'll get into that. But this is the topic right now. last week at the city council meeting, Hendrick Hospital got up and they talked about the need for ICU beds here in Abilene, or here in TSA District D is what we are.
Well, you know, of course, now Hendrick, to be fair about it, they were at ICU bed capacity before COVID-19.
That's right.
Certainly, COVID-19 has not helped. But one thing I want to be sure we communicate is we're on the same page. There's some false narrative in regards to the city or county not working with the hospital, when in fact we communicate every single day. There's always some sort of conversation. So we're eagerly trying to help Hendrick, help our neighbors to be sure we have enough ICU beds for Abilene and the surrounding area.
Well, Mayor, and you talked about working together with Hendrick and the county, Judge Bowles over there. There was a little confusion last week where Judge Bowles thought we were at 15%, looking at a wrong line or something like that. We're not at 15%. However, we also heard that it's almost impossible for our TSA-D to reach that 15%. Having said that, what's our threshold? What are we using?
Well, you know, in regard to that magical number of 15%, we'd have to have the excess of 130 COVID-19 patients in our hospitals. We've never been above 60, and so for us to get that number, a lot of really bad things are occurring. I don't think anyone in the medical field in our community thinks we'll reach that number. But this is what our objective is. Our objective is to do our part to mitigate infection in our community. And so the number that I've always looked at is ICU beds, to be sure that those who need the most medical attention receive it. And so we're working with Hendrick and others to try to make that occur.
Well, and if the rest of the state is using that TSA threshold of 15%, and Hendrick said that we're not really looking at that, do we have here in this TSA a magic number that we're gonna use as our threshold, since we can't use that 15%?
Well, I'll say this, you know, the whole country, the whole world, the region is fighting COVID-19. I mean, it's a problem everywhere. We're in a national, worldwide spike. And so Abilene is not insulated from the effects of that spike. And so I'm not sure what the magical number is. And so rather, I want to pivot on what can we do to mitigate infections. And so I want to encourage, follow the governor's order. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. And use good old-fashioned common sense. You know, we're in a awkward spot as a community, as a state, as a region, as a country. And one thing that I preached is that, you know, our current condition will not be our conclusion. It's going to get better. We responded in the spring, we responded in the summer, and I believe our neighbors will respond now in this current moment.
You're saying that rather than do what we did last time, which is shut down, we're going to take care of it on the other end. We're going to try to take care of it on the other end, and hopefully everybody will. You know,
Victor, in January, we had less than 1,000 of our neighbors who were unemployed. That number rose to 10,000 in June and now hovers around 7,500. And so we don't want the cure to be worse than the disease. We want to be mindful, you know, and condolences to all those families that have lost loved ones to COVID-19. I learned a lesson about COVID-19 myself. So I take it seriously, but we don't want to allow that to dictate the things we do that hurt the common good of our community.
And Mayor, this is really I don't want to call it a fight, but a battle or tug of war between commerce and the health of the community.
So
right?
I would say innately there's tension, right? There's tension between the business sector, commerce, and those in the health sector who are looking out for the health and well-being of our community. And the objective was never to stop infections. When we shut down as a nation this spring, it was done with the hope of trying to flatten the curve, which it was an acknowledgement that some of us will be infected, but instead of happening within 6 months, maybe 18 months, pushing it out. And that still should be what the objective should be, because short of a vaccine or another cure, you cannot stop people from being infected.
And as mayor, I'm sure you're hearing from both of those sides, commerce and the health.
Passionately,
yeah.
from both sides. And so it's not a popularity contest. What we're trying to do is what's the best for our community. And I'm at a point is, I'm disappointed that more of us are not compliant. We need to comply by the governor's order, but we should not shut down our economy. Not here in Abilene, not in our state, not in our country.
Well, Mayor, I just want to give you a chance before we go to break, and we'll come back and talk about your next 3 years. Okay. But before we go to break, I want to give you a chance to let you say something to the public about the situation we're in and wearing masks right now.
Yeah, and so this is serious, and we're making it serious. And I say we, I mean all those who are in leadership in our community, all those who are contributing to the conversation. We're taking this very seriously. But to be able to solve this in our community, we need you. We need you to be compliant. We need you to encourage your neighbors to be compliant. We need you to work with us to help this community respond to COVID-19.
All right. We will be back on Big Country Politics with Mayor Anthony Williams, and we're going to be talking about your next 3 years when we come back.
Big Country Politics on KTAB continues.
All right, welcome back to Big Country Politics. We're in the Soda District Courtyard with Mayor Anthony Williams, reelected just recently. Again, congratulations. We wanted to have you here because it's appropriate to have you on the show. Being Big Country Politics, we want to talk about your next 3 years. What are the big plans? And we're here in the Soda District for a reason. Right. I mean, this is where growth is taking place right now. Right.
Well, and I'll say this, I'm very thankful to the Abilene community for allowing me to be their mayor. You know, everything that we talked about and promised 3 years ago, we've delivered without exception. We talked about having a long-term plan for our streets, done. $185 million set aside. We talked about water security, done. We have enough water for the next 50 to 70 years. And we talked about economic development, delivering additional 300 jobs for our community. And so going forward, we want to continue to do the work in regards to incentivizing the private sector to invest in Abilene. We're in a Soda District where $5.5 million have been invested, and taking properties that were not contributing to now becoming icons. And so I'm proud of those private sector investors in the midst of navigating COVID-19 have made investments in our community. We want to do a better job of luring other high-paying jobs to Abilene. I'm confident in the next 2.5 years that we're going to have 300 to 400 new higher paying jobs. Economic development, I think, is the most important thing we can do. Water's always important, and streets are important. Dyess Air Force Base is important. But when a man or a woman in our community has a good paying job, that person has dignity, and that dignity is extended to the family. And when families have dignity, they will contribute in ways they cannot do so without that dignity. We want to give Abilene families more dignity, and so that is priority one. Secondly, you know, like you and others, man, I was just disappointed with some of the racial divide that showed itself throughout our country. I mean, looking at some highlights of other cities, it was like it was a third world country. And so we need to have a race conversation in Abilene, Texas. You know, and I say that very intentionally. We do have an opportunity to improve racial relations in Abilene. We still have discrimination that exists in our community. But I don't want to allow the national narrative to dictate what we do here in Abilene. They may do it elsewhere, but it doesn't have to happen here in our community. So I'm anxious to engage my neighbors in conversations that will allow us to love our neighbors better, so Abilene can become better. And that segues in just some civility. You know, you and I may disagree about a number of different things, but that does not mean you have to hate me or I hate you. Because nationally, hate is being spewed. And I'm just making a statement, not here in Abilene. We don't have to buy into that. And so I'm anxious to have more coffee time conversation when COVID-19 allows. I'm anxious to get more input. I'm anxious to work with others to allow Abilene to be and remain Abilene, Texas.
And you're talking about the hostility and the divide around the rest of the nation and the ugliness that surrounds politics. It doesn't seem that way here. However, your race was there was a little hostility there. I mean,
well, and I would say this. You know, I been doing this for a while. I've never been involved in a political race where performance, philosophy, ideas, vision did not lead the conversation. Rather, there are moments during my campaign I thought it was the Maury Povich talk show.
Well, and just to be clear, we're talking about your opponent, Cynthia Alvidrez, who ran against you. She's also on the Republican ticket, but she took her campaign onto Facebook and to Facebook Live, and that's where this...
And I'll say we have nonpartisan races on the city council level, and I would not say Ms. Alvidrez is Republican. I mean, prior to signing up to run against me, she had never voted in a Republican primary. Now, she voted Democratic primary, and so I would have called that person a Democrat rather than Republican. But having said that, I'm not sure when I look at a pothole, or I talk about solid waste, or I talk about water, that's red or blue. Why do we have to allow anything to create schism and division? You and I are different. Our neighbors are different than we are. But I'll make an argument that we have more in common than we do that separates us. Why can't we talk about our commonalities and do so in a way that allows us to make Abilene better? That's what I've always been about, and that's what I'm about. And I did not respond to any of those social media posts because I mean to do so just gives credibility. And I think our community bought into that also. Our community did not weigh into that. I mean, I think if you look back at my race, it may have been the most lopsided mayoral race history of Abilene, Texas. Because our community does not respond to lies, innuendos, and nonsense. Rather, we have core values in our community, and I've tried to be a candidate and a citizen that embraces the core values of Abilene, Texas.
Mayor, I'm going to stick around for one more segment because I got a couple more things to talk to you about that we didn't get to. But when we come back on Big Country Politics, we're going to have more with Mayor Anthony Williams from the Soda District in South Downtown Abilene.
Big Country Politics on KTAB continues.
All right, welcome back to the Soda District. We are in the courtyard at the Soda District with Mayor Anthony Williams, just re-elected, and again, congratulations. We've said that before or after every segment.
You keep saying it too, by the way. I like hearing it.
Well, you mentioned when we talked about in our last segment, you talked about your next 3 years.
Yes.
And the very first thing you mentioned was jobs. You're hoping 300-400 jobs in the next 3 years. Is that you talked about luring industry here, probably through economic development,
yes.
the DCOA,
yeah.
Or are you talking about local?
I'm talking about both. And so let me be clear. So the DCOA is the #1 weapon we have in regards to luring the private sector. And Misty Mayo, and fact check this, has done more deals in the last 18 months that may have been done in the last 5, 6, 7 years.
New CEO of the DCOA.
Corporation of Abilene, and good paying jobs. We had some very frank conversations early on when she came on board. Abilene has not had a problem with unemployment. We've had a problem with underemployment. We need no more jobs that pay $9 or $10 or $11 an hour.
Well, and that's what everybody says, that jobs are low paying here.
Yes, and so there are a couple of different opportunities, and we're being aggressive. I mean, we are swinging for the fences, but if they were to occur, it'll be the most significant agreement in the history of the DCOA. And so I'm hopeful of that. I'm doing my part to do all I can to be a
You're saying something is coming down the pipe that we don't know about yet that's going to be very...
I'm saying there are conversations occurring with significant employment opportunities for this community that will elevate in a significant way the wages in our community.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Any hints there?
Well, you know, I don't want to play our hand. We're competing against other communities.
Okay.
But know this, we're taking this seriously, and it is priority one. We want, and I'm demanding, better paying jobs in Abilene, Texas.
All right. Mayor, I think we covered a lot of things, but one more question for you. There's no term limits. Yeah. What are you thinking for 3 years from now? What are your plans? Are you thinking that far ahead, or?
Well, I tell you what. You know, I'm thrilled and thankful for the opportunity to be mayor of Abilene again, but this election was almost a relief. There's so many things that need to get done. COVID-19 takes my time every single day. And so the relief is I get to allocate more times to COVID-19 with other leaders in our community. And so I'm anxious to take care of that. And I've not looked beyond our current situation because I want to work with others on Team Abilene to be able to position Abilene in the best way possible.
All right, well, there's a couple of different headlines in that interview there. Thank you, Mayor, for joining us here at the Soda District Courtyard, and we'll be back on Big Country Politics.
Big Country Politics on KTAB continues.
And finally, a note from me. I'm proud to serve as the news director of KTAB KRBC, Telemundo Abilene, and BigCountryHomepage.com. I'm immensely proud of my staff. We work day in and day out to bring you accurate information. There's a lot of talk about bias in the media, but I want you, our audience, to know we work hard in our newsroom to be fair and truly balanced. You won't see a slant in our product, and that's a promise from me. We're here to tell you the facts. We're here to tell you the stories of Abilene and the Big Country. I'm proud to do what I do every day, and I'm even more proud of my journalists who put their heart and soul into what they do every single day. Thank you for trusting us. That does it for this week's edition of Big Country Politics. As always, for the latest political headlines, you can go to BigCountryHomepage.com. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Thanks so much for watching.